Welcome to today's episode of How the Game Was Won. Today we're looking at the game specifically between Topalov and Leko played at the European Club Cup, and this specific game was played on the 21st of October 2015. And without further ado, let's skip over to the position after Black's 30th move. And here we pause for just a moment to assess the position. At first sight, it looks like nothing really is happening. White obviously has weaknesses on, severe weakness on a4 with that isolated pawn. And Black conversely has got weaknesses pawn weaknesses sitting with b6 and c6. But the Black's weaknesses are in turn protected by the two bishops, which very much tie up the bishops to the protection of the two pawns. Then there are because while they're off defending those pawns, there's no ways they're able to defend on the king side. While one of the black rooks can continuously, for instance, put pressure on that a4 pawn, the other one, for example, could run across to the f file and start, for instance, attacking the f2 pawn, and also thereby threaten a kingside attack. So you could say that with the option of being able to swing the rook across to f8 and attack the f2, that gives Black a certain degree of an advantage. So it will be interesting to see how Peter Leko is able to convert this, or if he runs astray in the process. And Topalov continued here with Queen d1, and here Leko played Bishop d8. Now surely, which then immediately blocks that rook swing that I was talking about earlier. So instead of playing Bishop d8, he should have instead gone for Rook f8 immediately, followed by Queen h5, Bishop c8, Rook b to c2, Bishop b8, Knight e2, Rook f5, Queen g4, Rook f6, Queen takes on d7, Bishop takes on d7, and straight away you can see that Black has a super clear advantage heading forward. He's still got that pressure running onto the a4 pawn, and he's now got bishops controlling the two clear diagonals. He's got the rook hitting down at f2 that gives Black a super clear advantage going forward, as well as the advantage of the twin bishops, especially as he's able to open up clear diagonals for them to play. But instead, as I mentioned, Leko played Bishop d8, which allowed Queen h5, Bishop c8, Rook b to c2, Bishop b7, Knight e2, Bishop a3, Rook b1, Rook takes on a4, and Rook takes on b6. And all of Black's superior piece coordination has disappeared into thin air, and White has almost a winning position here. And the mistake that Leko made with the Bishop d8 is really subtle, but as you can see how it completely destroyed the way his pieces were working together. Now what's happening is that, for instance, White has this open B file that he can utilize. Continuing, Bishop b7, knight f4, rook b4, knight g6 check, king h7, knight e5, queen e8, queen takes an e8, rook takes an e8, rook takes an b4, bishop takes an b4, rook b2, c5, d takes an c5, rook takes an e5, rook b4, knight, rook e7, rook b6, rook c7, bishop b5, bishop c8, rook c6, rook to b7, rook takes on c8, rook takes on b5, c6, rook c5, king g2, rook c2, h4, h5, c7, g6, and as you can see here, we've got a rook and pawn endgame developing, and the telling key factor in this rook and pawn endgame is white's pass pawn sitting on c7. And what's more, in order to be able to defend that pawn sufficiently, black's going to be needing to mobilize his rook, and in the process allow a gap for the king to be able to get out. We continue. g4, d4, e takes d4, e3, king f1, e2 check, king e1, g5, h takes on g5, h4, rook f8, h3, rook f6, and in this position Leko resigned, because all that's going to be happening, for instance, is as you can see, the rook will come across to h6 with check, pick up the pawn. Obviously, queening the pawn will force the black rook off the second rank, and that will be followed obviously by white picking up the remaining pawn, and that will leave white a situation of a rook and count them 1, 2, 3, 4 pass pawns that black will need to try and defend against, which is absolutely undefendable. Leko realized this, resigned the game, and that is how the game was won. Feel free to share this video amongst all of your chess friends. Remember, thumbs up if you like this type of content, thumbs down if not. Then, any comments, questions, criticisms that you may have about the video that will help me to be able to produce better videos for you in the future, please post those in the comment section down below. I'll get back to each and every single one of your comments. And last but by no means least, down below the screen is a big red subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button, that way you stay subscribed to my channel for all the new content that comes out on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. Stay carved up for the win out there. I'll see you next time for another episode of How the Game Was Won. Till then,